Yeah, I might use a spot in lemon water. Lights right quick. Dripping. I fell asleep. What's yours? I got a desert brown, earth brown one coming. I was gonna paint this one. I got the paint out, everything. Wasn't gonna tape nothing. I got some scope wrap. I was gonna hit the scope wrap around this part. Once done, I'm gonna do that. Put the scope wrap around this part with some foam in, so it'll be like one solid. Because it's already a solid piece. And a little bit of that on the back of here. And I'm gonna put a red dot up here. But I'm gonna do it, when I do it, I'm gonna do it for the AAA. So, but even though I ordered one, because I was surprised, I got notification, I was like, a little pricey, I think, for Migmax, but it is what it is. So, I just put the thumbnail up there, man-made geostorm. It's cleared up over there a little bit, but let me see what it said about the, as far as notifications. I didn't turn no notifications on for the crap. It is what it is, if you get it. It still cracks me up about them calling it the Hillary. Okay. So 5 hours ago, first ever tropical storm warning issued for Southern California as Hillary nears. Okay, time of arrival. I want y'all not to pay I've already explained it. If you are paying attention and have some drama-filled whatever composure, that's on your ass. Max B, I'm not a musician, my beloved brother. I'm about educating and waking people up. I've put the information in description. I've connected you with, you reach out to a number of brothers in here who are into music. Even Oakland 12 is into music and digital creators and stuff like that, such as Ganja. And our brother who's moving all over the place has been doing this, degrees in this, all right, West Side. Now you reach out to them and do the work, brother. I pull people by the bootstraps as long as they know what their bootstraps are. I'm here to guide. And if you don't know what that is, love and respect. I have no secret, nor do I hide or anything like that. So what would make somebody think you've been sending me music and I've shared it with numerous people. Now, if they reach out, they reach out. If they don't, I haven't had nobody talk to me because they know that I am not the one to talk to. That's all we're going to say there, brother. So storm speeds up as Southern California residents prepare for catastrophic flooding. And that was 12 hours ago, okay? And it goes back to 20, and then 3 hours ago, as far as the Times knowledge, Hurricane Hillary, what travelers need to know, Hillary has been weakening to a Category 1 hurricane as it heads to land, but it is still expected to lash the Baja California Peninsula. But even though, when it's something like this, quite out of the norm, I want to say something that maybe you could find. I don't want to say something, I might say something out of the norm too. Storm doesn't necessarily mean 100-foot wall of water landing on the coastline. That 1,000-foot, a quarter mile could hit and come all the way halfway inland. It's the storms up above. What do they hide? I'm just putting that out there. I don't know. Okay. I've seen idiots down in Florida with hurricane come walking around outside, and I forget how many got zapped. I walked around the building in Miami, and the wind gusts at the proper time lifted their ass up and threw them into a second floor window. You don't hear about it, but sure enough, it's happened. I gotta run out and pick up one. People say, why don't you pick up like 5 or 6 watermelons? You can't do that. You got to pick them up 1 to 2 at a time, unless you're growing them, because they go bad. Watermelon sitting out, not in the sun, not on the vine, on your counter. Leave it there for a week and cut into it and tell me how you like it. Juice it and let it sit in the refrigerator and open it. Shake it first, and if it lets go gas, unless you want fermentation, then you should probably add some cane sugar and a little bit of ricin flour, like fermented ricin flour. Start getting the alcohol going. I would advise you not to drink that shit, but that's on you. It depends on your gut. Everybody needs to get blood work done from a righteous individual, not all these doctors, because they're full of shit, full of excrement, to know exactly if you can actually just eat fruits or vegetables. All right, I'm advising. That's the third and last time, all this time that I've been speaking on this. All right. I'm just drinking this now because it is starting to ferment. I can drink it. It won't bother me. And that was made this morning. But that container, no light hitting it. It's airtight, PBA free. And what's happening in there, because fruit, you know how it is, it breaks down like you do when you die, right? Gases. And what happens, those gases go in on themselves. And then you have this chemical reaction. Now, mine's beneficial. That's why people add lime. Some people add lemon. I like to add lime juice, about a tablespoon to every 18 to 24 grams, ounces of watermelon juice. It keeps it, okay? I didn't add none to this one because I wanted to taste it very, very sweet and distinct. Check the iron. Like a hill, 6 bars. Do I like sea moss? Yes, of course. I make it. Humble French. What's going on, beloved? Where's the lonewolf? What's happening? I've shared that in numerous videos. Taking 1 to 2 tablespoons. I don't take it every day because what people don't know is processed vegetables and fruits, or GMOs, don't really have the proper amount of iodine or iodine. There's another term for it. But then some people take it and they take way too much. Me, myself, I get more than enough of iodine. So I have to back off. So I take the sea moss with edible oil and sour soap. I take it every 3 or 4 days. I don't take it every day. That's stupid. That's like somebody sitting there going, yeah, drink 8 glasses of water every day. That's retarded. What are you doing? Are you just sitting around drinking down water? Or are you out there walking, you know, like 5-10 mile hikes? Okay. Add some lemon juice to it. That's the way you're going to cut down anything that's going on in your body. And then make sure you're not eating no processed high carb meals. You got to have some carbs. You got to have some natural fat, whether it be animal or plant-based. But you got to know what you're doing. And then there's something you shouldn't be eating. Like I keep telling them, man, all these baseball players and these chewing on some sunflower seeds. Are they raw? What are they? They're raising the estrogen level. But they really believe otherwise. Now you see all these damn baseball players coming out the closet. I mean, come on. Make it make sense, right? Well, let's go ahead and get this reading on. And the most worst thing about niggas right now, they envious of other people. Like, stop being envious, because like the majority of y'all don't know shit. And then when somebody tells you that you have a problem, that alludes to the fact that when you act that way, you don't know shit. People who know something will look at a person like, okay, whatever. Because it doesn't matter if they truly know. It's a good way to test people, too. I think people are misquoting and having their own self-interpolation of what I mean by time and patience is the most powerful weapon. What it means that patience has no time to wait for the fool, okay? Therefore, the time ran out a long time ago. There is no time for the fool. Either you know that your time exists for a reason and you're going to utilize it, and your patience is what allowed you to get to that point, and therefore patience must utterly be utilized continuously. Don't try and reinterpret what the fuck I'm saying for your own self-gratification or whatever. Know that time and patience are your 2 most powerful weapons. I don't care what you see, where you've gone, what the fuck you've done. I'm so tired of you know-it-all niggas because, well, that's what I know. Sound like women now. Well, that's where I stand. It's how I see it. Shut the fuck up. The problem is that's what's wrong with y'all. And then when you're in your emotions or feelings, you think of how you see it is the actual answer, and you don't actually have the key to it. The thing is, you're not allowing yourself to walk into your truth, and then everybody thinks where they're at is their truth. That means that's the truth of your existence right now. It is not who the fuck you are, and if you have a hard time dealing with that, stop. Go else fucking where. I'm not drama. I don't give a fuck. All right, because I'm about had enough of broken motherfucking niggas. I really have. Women seem to be catching it better for some reason. They watch it later and they comment, and I'm like, I hope some of these niggas go back and see the comments. I just wondered. I was in Vineland, New Jersey, and I always hung out in Camden. I know it's one of the worst places in America. Like Irvington. I was always up there past first with the Bloods and Crips and everything. A lot of Crips, they already knew, and the Bloods knew and all that shit. But I wasn't in it like that. I kept the peace between them because they all knew me. Whether it was because of Duker's AC, because of my history in the boxing and the martial arts community, working with Stretch James. Y'all know he passed away a few years ago. Probably went and got the jab out of Brooklyn. That's where a lot of us used to meet up with Curtis Lever to train with Stretch James over there in Brooklyn, Coney Island. Yeah, man. You know? And a lot of niggas, you just have this false aptitude to think that you're gonna try me. Oh, I'm a mean man, I'm gonna try him. I will knock you the fuck on your ass if I choose not to break your fucking jaw. Guaranteed. 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 1,000%. If I get the wrong itch, I see that goofy little hood shit, because it happened in Camden like 12 times before. Niggas was like, Reg's a solid one. We thought he went away and went in the military and came back weak. I was at the Shark Tank doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu 9 months, and still hitting the 400-pound heavy bag like a fucking retard. 400-pound heavy bag where we have to keep duct taping it with us hard heavy hitters. So keep getting it twisted in your little fucking minds, all right? Because I'm tired of this stupid shit. You niggas need to get it the fuck together. Fucking in your little meaningless little perpetual little motion of a failed steam engine. The little train that could. Fuck, you supposed to motherfucking be beyond that. Like somebody's playing a fucking game. I'm not doing this because I want to. Everybody's like, Red, you should do it. And I was like, you know, when I came and I accepted who the fuck I was, after I was poisoned for the 3rd fucking time. Everybody knows it. As stupid people, dumb niggas always say, oh, you shouldn't have been. Shouldn't have been. What? I did what the fuck I was supposed to do. I didn't want to do it. And when I was poisoned, there was some weak motherfuckers that didn't know that I was going to survive it. And then when I healed as fast as I did, they were like, and they all got scared. And half of them motherfuckers are gone. See, this is what you don't know a fucking thing. And that's why I'm trying to guide you some fucking where. Goofy niggas. My t-shirt got watermelon juice on it now. I'll change it the fuck out. That's drama bullshit. I need you men to get it the fuck together, man. I really need you men to get it the fuck together. You're starting like a bunch of fucking women. You really are. Like you're sitting at the fucking dinner table, matching wits with the other women or ladies to entertain the fucking men. And only the pale-skinned men would be entertained that the brothers want to see calmness and unity. What the fuck is going on? I'm reading posts, I'm seeing how niggas, this flamboyant talking about shit, and I'm like, what the fuck? It's either something in the air. I'm telling you, there's something in the air or something. Niggas ain't even paying attention to themselves. They're not looking in the mirror. They're not going, what the fuck? They're not retracting. They just keep pushing forward like it's all right. What the fuck? They've been fucking with y'all this long, and you still want to capitulate and not get it together? God damn, man. Fucking A. God damn. I remember being, where was that? Was it Pennsylvania? Was it? I'm trying to remember right. So I've been around them a lot of times. It might have been Boston. I remember IUIC when they were first getting, remember the bear kid and all of them that were used to argue with them sometimes. Coming out of Cali, you know, like they would travel all around, especially hitting up Philly and shit like that. And I remember like you had people because I met, you know, veterans and stuff like that. A couple of cats who law enforcement, shit like that. And they used to walk around with the purpose of intimidating people. I was somebody that always read the Torah and all that stuff, and I knew exactly what I tell you today, but I didn't really push it. And I remember one time asking one of them a question, and he got like that niggerish, real dark skin, like looking at a light skinned motherfucker. I'm not light skinned. All that shit don't mean a goddamn thing to a real motherfucker, right? To real ones. We didn't grow up with that shit. And they look retarded, and then one of the homies said, oh shit, red box. So dude said, yeah, homie box too. He kind of knew it. I said, well nigga, let's go behind the motherfucking juke joint, hit little little liquor store. Man, I bopped that nigga the fuck out. I knocked him out on purpose. You know why? You know why? I hate arrogant, goofy niggas. And they had to grab me and snatch me up from behind there. Because they were like, they heard something go pow. That was just me hitting them on the motherfucking temple. Catch him with the fucking hook after I pop. Just caught him, you know? Had the old peekaboo up, you know what I'm saying? Because I really wanted to mislead him with my eyes and see where he's watching my feet. Because you could turn your feet and step another way, and that's how I caught him. Keep getting it fucked up, cuz. I can feel thoughts, bro. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's not some made up shit. And so what it does, that kind of pisses me. And I'm tired of this effeminate shit. And you can be dicking down all the pussy you want, have all the girls or whatever the fuck, and still have these effeminate fucking ways. Just fucking had enough, y'all. Punk ass niggas. Look, right now, I had to take everything off the internet, except for the TV. Some reason it's fucking working. Something's disrupting the ionosphere or something. I don't know what it is. But the internet, man, a couple people knocked on my door. I was like, yo, is your internet? I was like, well, the TV's working. I don't know what's going on, but I had to take it off my cell, my tablet, and everything. Then my boy was like, oh, okay. Like a bitch. Like I said, where's your wife at, man? I said, it's just the fucking internet, man. Do y'all know how to live without the motherfucker, cuz? I had to say that. Maybe it's in the air here too. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck it is, but it's really getting fucking tiresome. Some might be thinking, well, maybe it's affecting you where you're getting. No, man, I'm always like this. I am angry 24/7, 365 days of their year, 364 days of my year. I am always angry, a polite angry. Because I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't like what's going on. There was a time when I didn't give a fuck. And it's not emotionally bound. It's you motherfuckers need a fucking push, man. It's unequal. It's unbalanced. Are you fucking paying attention? It is fucking unbalanced. And I know you don't see it. You see something else. It is fucking unbalanced. Maybe some of you want it unbalanced. I don't know. Well, order's going to be established, but I know that there's a bunch of you just need to wake the fuck up, because if you want to still be around, you better wake the fuck up and make proper choices and shit. Because god damn it, man. That's all I can say. I can't say nothing else about it. Let me see another spool, because I'm kind of low here. Fucking wake up, man. Bro. Let me go ahead and read it. I'm going to read about 4 books in there, because I want to, you know what? Let me read this first. The wind is blowing like a motherfucker, yo. I love it. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And that upset me, man. That's my Eric Snowden and shit. He looked at me like, I said, dude, that sounds a little fucking feminine, bro. I said, man, you come around me like a fucking man. I don't give a fuck if you gotta go on. I don't know what you gotta do, but don't ever. I had to tell him, don't ever do that, bro. Like, I think he works swing shift. He does a lot of shit with computers, y'all. That's all I can say. I can't say nothing else. But he sounded like, you know, stop eating at the Dollar General. I told him that too. Like, come on, bro. Don't bring that. I don't want to see that in front of me. I don't give a fuck. Love you, respect you. All right? Stop that shit. We still got a bunch of goofy niggas pushing this. I don't want to accept white folks. And you're still using the term white. Just giving them some kind of weird ass power that don't exist. Listen, there's a bunch of no good motherfuckers all the way around. Now, however the system created it, if you got the answer, then go back and uncreate it. Recreate it in your fucking image. But motherfuckers just don't know how to let go and move forward. The antecedents of what happened yesterday fucking year is not going to determine how you move tomorrow. What's going to determine how you move tomorrow is how you better equip yourself today. I am so fucking tired of brainless motherfuckers listening to dumb motherfuckers walking around because of this, that, and that, and don't even know the truth of any fucking thing. What about all the niggas? Have you looked at all the motherfuckers alive today who belong to the niggas that betrayed you from the jump? A lot more of them motherfuckers. You know how many pale-skinned women want to be with niggas? With brothers? Melanated? You know how many have? Like, don't worry about the little boom, stick farm, hickory, goofy motherfuckers that don't know no better back in the swamps, peddling goofy. They get some dick, black dick too, for those like crayon colors. I am talking about you have no fucking clue of the earth and the place you live. I've been overseas, and I would say 75% of them motherfuckers I've been with some brothers. They go out to certain countries and buy this shit. Y'all motherfuckers have no clue. If that's what's on your mind. We live in a world turned upside down on its fucking head. And everybody put in their little compartments of stupidity. You gotta get out. I'm not telling you go out there and check a pale-skinned woman. What I'm saying is the reality of the world you live in compared to the liberals are painting racism, right? But you see who's the most racist motherfucker? The liberals. Even, Maxine, well, look at the liberal fucking niggas. They're the worst motherfuckers on the planet. They hate their own kind. If you want to get into kinds and races and ethnicities and phenotypes. Like, what the fuck is going on? Am I kidding? The black liberal feminists detest the fucking black man for you crayon goofy niggas. But I'm married to one. How many of them are there? They outnumbered you fucking 7 to fucking 1. Like, and then you wonder why niggas is carrying on the way to do besides the chemicals and the water and the air and every fucking thing else. You can't make this shit up. But it's not just them. It's affecting everybody regardless of where it came from because you know Hitler got rid of that shit. Nigga was born 1890 something or whatever the fuck it was, 89 or whatever the fuck. 1923, that motherfucker whoop, 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 started building the military. Country became rich. And all the other, his cousins and all of them were like, nigga, what? But he was doing it because there was a plan to get rid of more people and destroy a lot more of Bavaria, Prussia, which later became Germany. Don't y'all know that shit? Oh, I know. Yeah, I know that, Red, of course. Yeah. And what? And it was to destroy the mainland of that era. It was to destroy 1914, the war he got into, became a lance corporal. That was to destroy a lot of things that don't even exist since then. In order to create a new world, you see what they're trying to do? Buying up land, want to build 15-minute cities. These motherfuckers are sick and y'all can't even get it the fuck together. Motherfucker worried about, the only thing is on his mind is music? Nigga, I thought it was bigger than that. We had a live last night. He should have been in. I think he came in later. You could have seen when I broached upon y'all got all these music. We could have our land and build a motherfucking studio where people come in. Nobody else thought about that? There's brothers with land and nobody's sitting there going, let's develop it together. Nobody's coming to fuck together. Now you niggas are good slaves. I put up there September 1st. Everybody all over is talking about everybody boycott work and maybe carry it further to show these motherfuckers are not in power. But I know a lot of you gonna go because that's what we niggas do. We don't. We just going, I'm going to work, man. I got to get that check. Motherfuckers are buying pork right now and putting that shit in water and vinegar, and that shit is showing not to be pork. It is something weird. Beef, same thing. Chicken, I had motherfuckers for the last 2 years telling me, and so one day I went and bought it. I didn't eat it. I gave it to my neighbor, and he says, this ain't chicken. The chicken wings from Domino's. That is not and has not been real chicken. And yet people keep buying this shit. I'm watching them every day. I go over there to see my boy. He's from Turkey. Okay? He used to work at the gun range, but he's like one of the heads of Domino's. That quick. When the turkey came back, he's like driving around. And so when he's over there, I go to see him. Boy, hey, Red. I'm like, yo, what's going on, fam? Shalom Aleichem. I'm like, yeah, what's good? I think he's a Christian turkey. But he still says all that, in front of all of them, And I'm like, yo, man, what's up with that chicken? He says, man, don't eat it. He won't tell nobody else that. And I know some of you motherfuckers go out and get this garbage. And if you don't, good. But what about the shit you buy? I'm not saying go vegan. What I'm saying is, are you going out and fishing? Have you paid attention to some of the stories about the trawlers out there pumping shit into the waters off the shores? Look, man, I'm putting it out there, man. They working. Look, they're selling motherfucking the wall shit. This Biden administration, they got motherfucking trawlers, people up and down the Mississippi. Now niggas started patrolling Mississippi 2 years fucking too late. When the motherfuckers in England and Canada were saying they were catching motherfuckers out there with cops who were saying, I'm just doing my job. I'm following orders. That's why I say these cops are some dumb motherfuckers. But anyway, motherfuckers with hazmat suits cranking shit from barrels into where people fish. The livelihood, the water that's being treated. Come on. And I bet none of you niggas patrolling the night. I bet none of you niggas went down to the railroad stations to get together. I gotta work. You stupid motherfucker, listen to me. Any of y'all in Cali or motherfucking Texas, gone to Gulf, Louisiana, over there on the East Coast, are y'all going out there with about 5 or 10 guys strapped where you can and saying we're patrolling? Nobody's gonna tell us otherwise. Put you a jacket on, a sweatshirt, Homeland Security motherfucker, not the government one, but the one for the fucking people. Any of y'all doing that? Any of y'all doing that? On the res, I even got motherfuckers together to walk up and down the street to pick up the garbage. Then because of the martial arts, I had motherfuckers literally coming on, hey, Red, man, we want to patrol the night. Somebody's shooting the coyote. I said, well, that's what you Navajos do. Y'all don't respect the animals that are slain. He says, no, man, we've been listening, bro. We want to stop it. I said, well, if we go out there, we're probably going to get shot at. You willing? Ended up. But for 6 months straight, we going out there with our long rifles and everything, walking in the briars and everything, have to pay attention to, if you're on a mezzanine, not to fall off 100 motherfucking feet. And this is what we did. Them motherfuckers was scared to go out there and pop shot at fucking coyotes. Police were going, what's going on? We're not getting no dead coyotes. Oh, is that what you want, motherfuckers? They always come after the fucking fact. Unless it's crime in progress. You get what I'm saying? Are y'all out there doing any fucking thing? Because I've actually had people say, what have you done? Bitch, what the fuck have you done? Before you go on. Because if it's an ego thing, bitch, all right, let me stroke my cock for you. And usually they get quiet at the first fucking 3 or 4 things. Bunch of stupid motherfuckers. Let me read this and let's get it on. Somebody might say with a smart ass, when you're reading that, you know they're going to get people in. Shut the fuck up. I need them to come out their feelings and start thinking straight. So if you think they even say that, I'll curse your monkey ass out. Act like one of them spider monkeys. Fucking idiots. Negro burned alive in Florida. Second Negro then hanged. This is 100 years of fucking lynching. All right, by Ralph Ginsburg. Yes, I asked a fucking Oz. Newman, Georgia, April 23rd. Sam Holt, the murderer of Alfred Cranford and Cranford and the ravisher of the latter's wife was burned at the stake near Newman, Georgia, this afternoon in the presence of 2,000 people. Now, the black woman was first tortured before being covered with oil and burned. An ex-governor of Georgia made a personal appeal to his townspeople to let the law take its course, but without the slightest he laughed. I'll just let y'all know. Before the torch was supplied to the pyre, the Negro was deprived of his ears, fingers, and genital parts of his body. He pleaded pitifully for his life while the mutilation was going on, but stood the ordeal of fire with surprising fortitude before the body was cool. Shock had already got set to him. There was no reason to scream. It was cut to pieces, and the bones were crushed into small bits, and even the tree upon which the wretched man met his fate was torn up and disposed of as souvenirs. Now the Negro's heart was cut into several pieces, as was also his liver. Those unable to obtain the ghastly relics paid their more fortunate possessors extravagant sums for them. Small pieces of bones went for 25 cents, and a bit of the liver, crispy cooked, sold for 10 cents. As soon as the Negro was seen to be dead, there was a tremendous struggle among the crowd which had witnessed his tragic end. Now, to secure the souvenirs, a rush was made for the stake, and those near the body were forced against it and had to fight for their freedom. Knives were quickly produced, and soon the body was dismembered. This really happened. One of the men who lifted a can of kerosene to the Negro's head is said to be a native of Pennsylvania. His name is known to those who were with him, but they refused to divulge it. The mob was composed of citizens of Newman, Griffin, he was of Ashkenaz, Palmetto, and other little towns in the country round about Newman, and of all the farmers who had received word that the burning was to take place. Now, W.Y. Atkinson, a former governor of Georgia, met the mob as he was returning from church, and he appealed to them to let the law take its course. Now you got to remember, these motherfuckers weren't governors or nothing in the motherfucking 1800s. Nothing. We governed this land. So take that into consideration and be mindful. Anyway, addressing the mob, he used these words. Some of you are known to me, and when this affair is finally settled in the courts, you may depend upon it that I will testify against you. A member of the mob was seen to draw a revolver and level it at Mr. Atkinson, but his arm was seized and the pistol taken from him. The mob was frantic with delays and would hear to nothing but burning at the stake. Now, before being put to death, the Negro is said to have confessed to killing Cranford live, stating that he had been paid $20 by Lige Strickland, a Negro preacher at Palmetto, for the deed. Lie. Holt was located in the little cabin of his mother on the farm of the Jones brothers between Macon and Columbus and brought to jail. Now, word was sent to Miss Cranford at Palmetto that it was believed Holt was under arrest and that her presence was necessary in Newman to make sure of his identification, and in some way the news of the arrest leaked out, and as the town had been on the alert for nearly 2 weeks, the intelligence spread rapidly. Now, from every house in the little city came its accounts, and a good-sized crowd had soon gathered about the jail, and Sheriff Brown was importuned, to give up the prisoner. And finally, in order to avoid an assault on the jail and possible bloodshed, he turned the Negro over to the waiting crowd. It was already planned, he was behind it. A procession was quickly formed, and the doomed Negro was marched at the head of a yelling, shouting crowd through several streets of the town. Soon the public square was reached. Here, ex-Governor Atkinson of Georgia, who lives in Newman, came hurriedly upon the scene and, standing up in a buggy, importuned the crowd to let the law take its course. And Governor Atkinson said, "My fellow citizens and friends, I beseech you to let this affair go no further. You are hurrying this Negro on to death without an identification. Miss Cranford, whom he is said to have assaulted and whose husband he is said to have killed, is sick in bed and unable to be here to say whether this is her assailant. Let this Negro be returned to jail. The law will take its course, and I promise you it will do so quickly." Hanging or firing squad. It wasn't in New Jersey, so it couldn't use the Thomas Edison, so-called Thomas Edison's electric chair. And effectually. Now, do not stain the honor of the state with a crime such as you are about to perform. Judge A.D. Freeman of Newman spoke in a similar strain and prayed the mob to return. Now, anytime you hear Freeman behind a pale skin, that means he's one of ours. I know you're going to have a hard time with this, but fuck your feelings. Okay, similar strain, and prayed the mob to return the prisoner to the custody of the sheriff and go home. Now, the assemblage heard the words of the two speakers in silence, but the instant their voices had died away, shouts of "On to Palmetto! Burn him! Think of his crime!" arose, and the march was resumed. Now, Miss Cranford's mother and sister are residents of Newman, and the mob was headed in the direction of their house, and in a short time reached the McElroy home. The Negro was marched through this gate, and Miss McElroy was called to the front door. She identified the African, and her verdict was agreed to by her daughter, who had often seen Holt about the Cranford place. Now, to the stake was again the cry, and several men wanted to burn the Negro in Miss McElroy's yard. And we know that at that time they didn't use the term African. Now, to this, she objected strenuously, and the mob, complying with her wish, started for Palmetto. Just as they were leaving Newman, news was brought that the 1 o'clock train from Atlanta would bring 1,000 people from Atlanta. This was taken to be a regiment of soldiers, and the mob decided to burn the prisoner at the first favorable place rather than be compelled to shoot him when the militia put in an appearance. Leaving the little town, see, a militia, not an army. Leaving the little town whose Sunday quiet had been so rudely disturbed, the mob, which now numbered nearly 1,500 people, started on the road to Palmetto. A line of buggies and vehicles of all kinds, their drivers fighting for position in line, followed the procession, at the head of which, closely guarded, marched the Negro, one half 1.5 miles out of Newman, a place believed to be favorable to the burning was reached. A little to the side of the road was a strong pine tree. Up to this the Negro was marched, his back placed to the tree and his face to be crowd, and face to the crowd, was jostled closely about him. The clothes were torn from the Negro. In an instant, a heavy chain was produced and wound around his body. He said not a word to this proceeding, but at the sight of 3 or 4 knives slashing in the hands of several members of the crowd about him, which seemed to forecast the terrible ordeal he was about to be put to, he sent up a yell which could be heard for a mile. Instantly, a hand grasping a knife shot out, and one of the Negro's ears dropped into a hand ready to receive it. He pleaded pitifully for mercy and begged his tormentors let him die. His cries went unheeded. Palmetto, Georgia, April 24th, the body of Life Strickland, a Negro preacher who was implicated in the Cranford murder by Sam Holt, was found, which he did not implicate him, was found swinging to the limb of a persimmon tree, within 1.25 miles of Palmetto, Georgia, early today. Before death was allowed to end the sufferings of the Negro, his ears were cut off and the small finger of his left hand was severed at the second joint. These trophies were in Palmetto yesterday. On the chest of the Negro was a piece of blood-stained paper attached by an ordinary pen. On one side of this paper was written, "We must protect our ladies." The other side of the paper contained a warning to the Negroes of the neighborhood. It read as follows: "Beware all darkies. You will be treated the same way." Before being lynched, Strickland was given a chance to confess to the misdeeds of which the mob supposed him to be guilty, but he protested his innocence to the last. 3 times the noose was placed around his neck, and the Negro was drawn up off the ground. 3 times he was let down with a warning that death was in store for him should he fail to confess his complicity in the Cranford murder, mind you. 3 times Strickland proclaimed his innocence, until weary of useless torturing, the mob pulled on a rope and tied the end around the slender trunk of the persimmon tree. Not a shot was fired. Strickland was strangled to death. The lynching of Life Strickland, Lish, was not accomplished without a desperate effort on the part of his employer to save his life. The man who pleaded for him was Major W. Thomas, an estate senator and one of the most distinguished citizens of Coweta. Did y'all look that up yesterday? No, you didn't. County. He did all in his power to prevent the lynching of the Negro and did not discontinue his efforts until he had been assured by the leaders of the mob that the Negro would be taken to jail at Fairborn. 1 mile from the spot where his promise was made, Strickland was hanged. The Negro was a tenant on the plantation of Major Thomas Wynn. Sam Holt, the murderer of Alfred Cranford, he was not the murderer, and the selling of his wife, made his confession immediately prior to his burning, to which he didn't make the confession. He implicated Liz Strickland, Holt contending that he had been offered money by Strickland to kill Cranford. It was known positively, however, that Holt had made false statements in his last confession, and many of those who aided in his burning were disposed to disregard his statement in regard to Strickland. About 15 men went to the plantation of Major Thomas late Sunday night and took Strickland from his little cabin in the wood and left his wife and 5 children to wait and weep over the fate they knew was in store for the Negro. Their cries aroused Major Thomas, and that sturdy old man followed the lynchers in his buggy, accompanied by his son, William Thomas, determined to save, if possible, the life of his plantation darky. They overtook the lynchers and with their victim at Palmetto, and then issued, with only the moonlight to brighten the faces of these grim men, a weird and dramatic scene. Liz Strickland was halted directly opposite the telegraph office. The noose was adjusted around his neck, and the end of the rope was thrown over a tree. Strickland was told he had a chance before dying to confess his complicity in the crime. He replied, "I have told you all I know, gentlemen. You can kill me if you wish, but I know nothing to tell." Those were powerful men. They were willing to die. You fuckers are willing to just live, and you're not even doing that. The Negro's life might have been ended then, but for the arrival of Major Thomas, who leaped from his buggy and asked for a hearing, he asked the crowd to give the Negro a chance for his life and said, "Gentlemen, this Negro is innocent." Holt said Lish had promised to give him $20 to kill Alfred Cranford, and I don't believe Lish had $20 since he has been on my place. He has never done any of you any harm. I want you to promise me that you will turn him over to the bailiff of this town, and that he may be given a hearing. I do not ask you to liberate him. Hold him for the courts. The mob replied that Strickland had inflamed the Negroes in the neighborhood and had a bad reputation. Having run away from East Point several years ago, Major Thomas reminded the mob that the Negro had voluntarily told of having seen Holt on the night of the murder, and one of the mob replied that Strickland had done this in the cunningness of his guilt to establish his own innocence. There were some, however, who agreed with Major Thomas, and after a discussion, a vote was taken, which was supposed to mean life or death to Liz Strickland, and the vote to let him live was unanimous. Major Thomas then retired some distance, and the mob was preparing to send Strickland in a wagon to Newman, when a member of the mob cried out, "We have got him here. Let's keep him." Probably now she knows. This aroused the mob, and a messenger was sent to advise Major Thomas to leave Palmetto for his own good. But the old man was not frightened. He drew himself up and said empathetically, "I have never before been ordered to leave a town, and I am not going to leave this one." And then the major, uplifting his hand to give his words force, said to the messenger, "Tell them the muscles in my legs are not trained to running. Tell them I have stood the fire and heard the whistle of mine, minis, from 1,000 Yankee rifles, and I am not frightened by this crowd." Major Thomas was not molested. Then, with the understanding that Liz Strickland was to be delivered to the jailer at Fairborn, Major Thomas saw the Negro he had pleaded for led off to his death. The mob took the Negro to a grove near the home of Marshal Gibbons of Palmetto, and again the noose was adjusted. He was hauled off the ground, but was let down to allow him to confess. He refused to do so, and the lynchers were about to haul him up again when the son of Marshal Gibbons came upon the scene and asked that the lynching should not occur near his father's home. The Negro was then taken to the yard in the rear of Dr. W.S. Zeller's home, Zeller, and tied up to a primison tree and left hanging in Ashkenazi. A coroner's jury held an inquest over the body Monday afternoon and returned the usual verdict, which they always professed to be Dutch back then. Verdict: death at the hands of parties unknown. Another mob is hunting the county for Albert Sewell, who has made himself obnoxious by remarks concerning the treatment given the Negroes by the whites. There is not much prospect of his capture, however, as he has had a day's start of his pursuers. Let me take this t-shirt off, guys. Excuse me. Thanks, Davey. Gotta wash my t-shirt, man. I can't have no watermelon stains on there like I'm back in the 60s, eating 70s, eating watermelon. Woo, child. Woo, woo, child. No weak motherfuckers around. No weak asses around. We don't want no weak asses around. No weak asses around. We don't want no weak asses around. Get rid of all of them. Tired of them. Tired of them weak motherfuckers, man. Hey, Papa, what you got there? What you got there, man? All right. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Okay, I'm just going to read a few more books. We go with it right there, all right? He stayed true to the very end. Yes, he did. Peace, Mr. C. James, Mikey. Max V, good to see you here, beloved. Good. Boots on the ground. Yes, sir. Hey, Jedi. Yes, yes. Let's go ahead. Now, I want to read that book just like that every day, because I want y'all to be stronger than the stories. Because there's other books I have that are good stories. You know, the deacons with guns. You know, the black deacons. You know, how they whooped. You know, a lot of these guys were veterans. They whooped Klan, killed a whole bunch of them fools. There's a whole lot of stories. Okay, my family story, a personal one, from my great 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 grandpa. Um, on my mother's side, and all the men on my father's side, well, except for one who drunk himself to death. Like I told you, I've outlived four of my great grandparents, the men. Not in a glorious way. I've outlived them because of who they were and what they did and what they held on to. I'll be sharing those stories more often. But there are other books. I just don't want to read them yet. We need for you to pay attention to the times we're in and suggestive. All right. So let's go ahead and hit Terra Infinita, the extraterrestrial worlds and their civilizations. The story told by the woman who was born in the lands behind the ice walls, Nos Confami. And as you can see, that's Claudia Nocelli, right? We're at the lands of Orion. Excuse me. Where you have Saif, Rigel, Heka. It almost sounds Hawaiian to a certain degree, or you know what I'm saying. When you think about the words used, you got to remember this is supposedly on Earth where the deepest of the labyrinth of oceans exists, far deeper than even ours. Much by what I've looked up as far as the story goes. These lands are dominated by beings known as Greys, generally of small stature between 1.30 and 1.4 meters. 1.3 and 1.4 meters, excuse me, high. They are beings of great psychic and scientific development, excuse me. And their laboratories are extremely advanced and undoubtedly the best that can be found within this great dome. Wolfie. Okay, Wolf. They have been experimenting with many races. They have in their possession knowledge about all of them existing here, and the custodians have used them on several occasions in their obsession to try to achieve penetration into the celestial lands. Did any of y'all look into the story I told you about down there in Mexico? I forget, was it Ecuador or... Anyway, the actual video footage of people being pulled from the beach, not in the water, with their faces surgically removed. I mean, no blood. I mean, not drained nowhere, literally. The deed done in this big open field or whatever by the waters, and they couldn't figure. They saw things around that didn't make sense, glass like sand and all that. They couldn't make sense of it, but they carry these bodies and they're not even rigor mortis. I asked you the other day to look into it. The videos are still there. If you can't handle it, I should have turned the damn notifications off. If you cannot handle it, don't look at it, okay? Because, yeah. They have in their possession knowledge about all of them, okay? Okay. Now, existing here and the custodians have used on several occasions in their obsession to try to achieve penetration into the celestial lands. But as everything tried was a failure, many of these beings were busy analyzing the human being in depth, carrying out... I'm about to go off of here. Oh my fucking word. Anyway, carrying out abductions and other genetic tests. They are beings that lack empathy and are generally hostile towards humans. Only on a few occasions have they shown compassion, but cases of abductees who have had really bad experience abound. They have been abducting and experimenting with human beings for a long time. In fact, in the time before the last reset and other resets as well, they were already experimenting with us. Now, the curious thing was when they tried to do it during the time of the Great Advanced Tartary, where free energy was controlled and a very superior technology for that time. The ships of the Greys were destroyed almost by thousands every day. Now, did you hear what he said? I want you to listen. During the great time of the Great Advanced Tartary, where free energy was controlled and a very superior technology for that time. Are y'all paying attention? There are still places where people can go and they can go up to a wall, to a rock, and they get this purple ionic happening from them. Right now, we're having ionic interference. It's from something. Definitely man or something made. I just know that is what it is. Anyway, it's happening. All right? Believe what you want. We could call them brothers of the beings of... Okay, that's it. Fuck this shit. Hold on, guys. Fuck this shit. Because TikTok don't never give me no goddamn updates. I guess all the little monkeys is going to be something. Connecting. There we go. Off. Some people, man, just know how to put some shit down and relax sometimes. Always on these goddamn platforms. Anyway, again, we call them brothers of the beings of Zeta Reticuli. Since their races intermingled and today they coexist together in the time before the Great War, these beings were in control of the known lands for a short period of time. As the custodian Anunnaki leaders had major uprising problems in another encircling environment. This was taken advantage of by the giants of humans to carry out the largest uprising in history, the Anakin. The Greys were defeated without being able to do anything but go in search of the custodians. These beings were expelled from the known lands by the giants. This, they would never forgive them. And although there were later meetings with giant leaders, it is well known that they detest them and that the feeling is mutual. The greatest leader of the Grey beings died in the known lands. Now you may know why they want to hide the giants from you. That generated that the hatred that they had for humanity was raised even more. The Greys colonized independent lands but never came to dominate any other circle environment on their own. The beings of Zeta Reticuli were colonized by the Anunnaki and used in their great expeditions towards the exploration of other lands. And on the other hand, the Greys of Orion followed a similar path, but on the custodial side. And with the great difference that the Orion Greys really revealed themselves when the human uprising existed. The death of their great leader caused a deep hatred towards the custodians for the task of taking care of other people's lands, and several battles existed between them, which further facilitated the power of the great Tartarians in the known lands. So they fought each other, the Greys and the custodians, before succumbing. Although it was never managed to have them all as allies, since they hate humans, the truth is that there was an exchange of technology between Grey leaders and humans, but they fell into the hands of the elite and were used against and for the destruction of the race itself. I told you, the Tartar didn't fall because we lost to them motherfuckers. It fell because of betrayal on the inside. It's even in other stories that have been destroyed and during wars, recent wars, that show that there was a productivity, that there was a relationship, actually, a wonderful relationship, even in the destruction of our foreign enemies. And that's why you have certain diagrams and things and hieroglyphs. But the betrayal was behind the fucking walls, in the star forts, in the neighborhoods, in the towns. Grey Bank, what do you think the idea comes from the delectable Negro? That's why you couldn't pay me to sleep with a pale-skinned woman. Some niggas probably got their genes in them too. Grey beings can also be found in the Mars lands, which is a large experimental land where both the custodians and the Anunnaki jointly control. The human colony there clashed several times against the Greys, but were defeated in all those battles. They use cloning to subsist as a race and are very robotic in their functions. They are devoid of any kind of emotion or empathy. They came very close to being totally exterminated in the past. You have the ability, people, to do some amazing things. Next time we get into the lands of Pleiades. Stole a little George Jones up. An original history of ancient America. All right? I believe 1939, right? It will be remembered by the reader that in the sepulchre chamber at Copan, an engraved gem was found, a small death's head, skull, carved in fine green stone. The antiquity of this style of engraving has been shown in alluding to Aaron's breastplate of judgment, but we will now prove that another Tyrian analogy is found in the carved gem of Copan. That the Tyrians were engravers of gemstones is established upon the authority of scriptural history. And from that sacred volume, it is also proved that the Tyrians were the builders of Solomon's temple. This will be enlarged upon in the history of Tyrus, and Solomon wrote to Hiram for a superior artist in addition to the general workman, to work in gold and in silver, and etc. And that can skill to grave. And to skill to grave to means to engrave. Okay, can work the engraving. The Hebrew text is to grave gravings, as I stated, and I haven't read ahead in this, or in modern phrase, to engrave. Cut or carve, metal or stones. Now the king of Tyrus answered, and now I have sent a cunning, that means skillful for those who aren't aware, a man of the same name as the king Hiram. King Hiram, skillful to work in gold and in silver and brass and iron and stone, also to grave any manner of graving. Chronicles 2, chapters 13 and 14, I believe. That Solomon availed himself of the skill of this artist in gem engraving is proved by the following verse. And he garnished the house. That's why I tell you, these fake-ass Mason motherfuckers. They talking about Hiram the builder murdered and then raised from the dead. These motherfuckers are slapping you in your face. What they're not aware of, though you may seem dead in knowledge, in history, you've only been slumbering. And they do it as a slap in your fucking face. Cultists. Stupid, blind by their false ambitions, and you see the state to which they're in. Okay. Why you think the faggot even had the nerve to put in Boondocks? I am the stone of the creator refused. I am... Okay. All right, so you're paying attention. Judo flip. And he garnished the house, the temple, with precious stones for beauty, because your body is the temple, the house, right, of the source. And workmanships. That's in 2 Chronicles. I don't have to even look and read the shit, but I know I don't have it in there. But anyway, it's 2 Chronicles. We shall conclude this section with an analogy that may appear strange to the general reader, but is also... Oh, it does have it there. Damn it. And it's in brackets. Damn, Red. I'll look ahead when I'm reading, y'all. My apologies. But it is no less true than original, and from which identity is apparent. The wisdom of Solomon, and in parentheses it states, an infinite, I don't even know what that word is, y'all. I've never seen that. And inferentially, his people also? No, you've never seen that word. Did not embrace the practical sciences of architecture, sculpture, and navigation. He was compelled to apply for all these to the Tyrian monarch, and Solomon's wisdom was of the philosophy of nature, and not in the defined arts of sciences. This is shown in the first book of Kings, chapters 4, 32, and 30. I slowed it down. And he, Solomon, speak 3,000, that's in parentheses, speak 3,000 proverbs, and his songs were 1,005. And he spake of trees, from the cedar tree that is in Lebanon, even unto the hyssop. Y'all know what cedar is, right? Okay. That springeth out of the wall. He spake also of beasts, and of fowl, and of creeping things, and of fishes. 5 centuries before Solomon, the Hebrew artists, Bezaleel and Aholib, were called by the Almighty and presented to Moses for a special purpose. The Tyrians were the architects and sculptors of the Temple of Solomon, and the description of that, excuse me, he wasn't one of these Ashkenazi motherfuckers either. Description of that, I detest them. Edifice. It will be found that the square or 4-sided columns and bases prevail, to the exclusion of the circular. Even the doorposts of the temple were square. The same are seen in Palenque. So also made he for the door of the temple posts of olive trees, a fourth part of the wall. 1 Kings chapter 33, defined to be 4 square. Now the 2 brazen pillars of the porch of the temple were square, and about 5 feet 6 inches on each side. Now what are the pillars of Copan in parentheses? And the capitals covered with carved nets of checker work, and wreaths of chain work. Upon these were suspended 2 rows of pomegranates, and the celebrated bases were distinctly square and about 7 feet on each side. Gas. And he, the Tyrian artist, in parentheses, made 10 bases of brass, 4 cubits, and in parentheses it states 21 inches and a fraction of each cubit, scripture measures, and was the length of 1 base, and 4 cubits the breadth thereof. Now in brackets it states this is a perfect square, people. And there were 4 undersetters to the 4 corners of 1 base, and also upon the mouth of it, in parentheses the laver, were gravings with their borders 4 square, not round. And after this manner he made the 10 bases, for example, square columns in brackets, and all of them had 1 casting, which is in Hebrew fashioning. Casting in Hebrew is fastening. Brackets it states 1 measure and 1 size, as in 1 Kings chapter, I believe, 7. Now the square style of architecture in Solomon's temple may distinctly be claimed as Tyrian architecture, for the Tyrians were the architects, sculptors, and builders, directed by Hiram the artist. And it is self-evident. What was that? For review. Why are they always doing this goofy shit? Okay, I got you, brother. Just to see. Somebody else handle it. They're always messing with stuff, man. Being in ancient America, for the reader will instantly recognize, check it out. Okay. Since they were also, they followed that style generally adopted in their own country. Here, then, is a direct proof of the Tyrian architecture being in ancient America. For the reader will instantly recognize that the square columns form the doorposts also at Palenque, and that the idol obelisks at Copan are 4 square, not round, and covered with gravings and sculptures. The superficial measure of the square piers or columns at Palenque does not vary in a great degree from the square porch columns and bases at Jerusalem. Here we go, that Jerusalem shit. Okay? While the Hebrew pomegranates at the latter capital were varied, yet the florid style of the Tyrian sculpture imitated in the compositions of leaves and flowers at Oxmal. We're going to stop there. Now, even though we're talking about South America, it was all through North America and everywhere. And that's why they had to eradicate that history, so nobody will know about it and we'll discuss it. I believe later on in this book they get into that, if I remember right. I didn't read everything for it, but I have, whenever I get a book, I jump around and look at certain things. I read a couple of pages here and a couple of pages there in each chapter, just to see really if it's even worth reading. Okay? And so if I remember right, I might another book. If I remember right, I believe later on in this book, from what I've looked at, I believe it's going to allude to about North actually having that information. These 3 books we're going to read a little later, okay? Because I said I wanted to read another book. I think it'll go good with that. It's kind of a new. It's to add a book to the arsenal, so we'll be reading the Gods, Anunnaki, and the Pale Horse, because we're falling upon what's considered a reset. They have literally said it, some of these politicians. Just like they said New World Order, they said a reset. I mean, go back and Google, look on YouTube, you'll find it. Okay? And I think this will go good with one of those books right there. So we'll read that a little later, and maybe something in there can quantify some information. Okay? I'm going to see where it's at, guys. This so-called storm. I'm not worried about it, but I just want to see. For the sake, there's a lot of people I know that live in California. All right. And I'm not worried about them because I already told them we'll get the fuck about it. If they stay, well, then they get whatever they got coming. I know that sounds ugly, but it's what the fuck I mean. Okay. Tap on that. Okay. So, it's live. I don't want to look at fucking liberal TV. I like independence. Okay, let's see what they're saying. Hillary live updates. Tropical storm Hillary makes landfall in northern Baja California and brings life-threatening rain. Okay, and this is theirs. I had to take the internet off, guys. I think I got 1 or 2 bars. Like I said, there's some ionic interference going on. I don't know where it's from, but it's, oh wow, okay. I guess it made landfall, huh? Wind 60 miles per hour, movement north at 23 miles per hour. Maybe they calmed it down because people were paying attention to going, went out with this fuck shit. I know. I don't know. I'm not seeing no winds and rains. Well, we had winds about a little, you know, when I told you I was blowing hard. I haven't seen no winds here and no sandstorms. We get sandstorms here. But it looks like there's some out clouds and rains over Phoenix and Las Vegas. All right, I'm looking directly at the storm. This is as of right now. This is actually live. So forecasters warn of life-threatening flooding as the storm begins to bring rain to the southwest. I'm trying to see minute by minute as far as what they say. Okay, this is Mayor Todd Gloria. Gloria, you're a punk. And even Nevada is being warned. Yes, Nevada is being warned as well. It's not that bad in South Cal. Good, that's what I like to hear, brother. And has it actually landed, or is it still out and it's real? Because I know that their shit can be a little, because I was in the Navy, and sometimes the shit that they were showing when it was like Katrina and all that was bullshit. You know what I mean? And then we watching the news like, nah, motherfucker. And then, you know, the next day, wham! You know what I'm saying? Light rain, wind speeds are low. Yeah, like I figured. So this is 150 miles southeast of San Diego, California. Oh, 115 miles southeast of California. Okay, so it hasn't really. This is the Doppler radar. 1:44 p.m. So this is where the fuck we at. 1:44 p.m. So yeah, tropical storm Hillary made landfall Sunday on the Baja California Peninsula, with catastrophic and life-threatening flooding expected in the region, including across this. One person drowned Saturday in the Mexican town of Santa Rosalia on the peninsula eastern coast when a vehicle was swept away in an overflowing stream and rescued. Okay, forecasters warn of life-threatening flooding and all. So it's moving up. It hasn't really. So they said make landfall. They're talking about the fucking clouds and the rain and all that. I'm looking for the heart of this shit. Anyway, as long as we have people who are living there and you can hit us up. I'm out by the coast. It's calm now. I'm in San Diego. Okay, cool, brother. That's okay. That's what I'm talking about. Because I hate the. I see this is the reason why I hate the fucking the news. Like I said, not the serving in the as long as I did in the military, and we was always being like, what the fuck is they talking about? Like, you know, all the time. Like, what this thing? And we sit there looking, but we just really didn't say too much. I just knew that to follow liberal TV news and shit because they lied so goddamn much. And I always said, if you want to make a lot of money and fuck up on a regular, become a meteorologist. It's one of the sayings we had. Because even the ones that were working in the military, they were better than the ones on the damn on TV. All right, let me get the fuck off of here. Be back in a couple of hours so we can read those other books. I'm not reading what you call it today. As far as Atlantia, I know that's really good. We got over here. This is a little slow, 1:45. I guess I got to change the batteries or something. But I appreciate y'all taking the time, listening to everything. Like I said, I'm always angry. Don't get it fucked up. Oh, I like to laugh and have a good time and good jokes and all that shit. But who could be fucking happy? I mean, truly happy with the state of affairs the way the fuck it is? I just want to know. When is she? I just want to know. Because I hear people talking about, I'm happy all the time. And I'm like, the fuck? You got, what's that little motherfucker? Buzz Lightyear? What's the little fucking cowboy motherfucker that, you got one of them in your fucking pocket 24/7? Barney the fucking dinosaur or some shit? Weird motherfuckers. And they be fake happy. Be the most miserable motherfuckers. I don't like seeing people miserable. But in order not to be miserable, you've got to address the real situation and deal with it like taking a bull by the horns, which is not smart. But that's the only way you're going to stop the motherfuckers. It's probably going to flick your ass around, but you're better off there instead of getting mauled and stuck the fuck up. Let me get the fuck off here because, like I said, only y'all can do it, man. And I don't think motherfuckers are taking it serious. I really don't. That's just me. I don't think you're taking it serious. That's where the fuck I'm at. I guess that's a challenge. You're going to take it serious or you're not going to fucking take it serious. That's where I'm at. All right? Like I said, there's plenty of people who come on here who are the ones that ask me, Red, you need to share that story. You need to share some information because all these motherfuckers get information from you and motherfuckers don't know it. They're not shouting you out. Well, some people did, Rob Bell and people like that, but I don't need the shout outs. It's the fact that I want people to pay attention and I want them to graft themselves to the truth and better themselves with the truth of that fucking information. Puzzle pieces. Get off your little fake ass. Nobody should be on no high horse, no ego, no nothing. None of it. I know some of you got a problem working together with certain people. I said, and it still stands the same way I said we need to segregate. The worst thing for our people was segregation because I knew these peckerwoods would come around playing that we not racist shit. Listen now, pale skins, y'all motherfuckers are the most racist, dumb fucks on the planet. A Negro cannot be racist. Everything about them reacts with a couple of centuries and even more than that in other places against your stupidity. And in the reality situation, a lot of pale skins ain't pale skins. They niggas. And I'm tired of proving that shit. I'm not doing that no more. And if you don't believe it, fuck you. Take it how the fuck you choose. I'm not going to lose no sleep. All right? I know you've been raised in the squalor of history and the lies of fucking truth. Yes, the lies of truth. I bet somebody's going to be like, what does that mean? Figure the fuck out. You've been raised in the lies of fucking truth. Okay? And I know it's hard to get your motherfucking head up out the goddamn holes they've dug. All right? But you got to. You fucking have to. I'm not here selling you, the moon's orange and all the sun's at the highest and the UVs are going to kill them and all this other goofy shit. I'm telling you, you got to look inside your fucking selves. And I know you're not doing it. I know you're not chanting the shit I give you. I know you ain't doing the little, those things are important. I know a lot of you niggas ain't meditating. I know a lot of you ain't gonna change your diet. Some of you work a job where it's hard to get the right things to eat. Well, you gotta plan better if you got a fridge in your fucking trucks. There's a whole lot of folks driving trucks, all right? So it's not at you, Chata. I never even asked you. But I know other people, like I was telling Navi Poet and a few other people who drive trucks, you gotta better your situation. If you got a refrigerator, you gotta put things in there that can last you for 2 days. At least those refrigerators, like, look, man, we had a dorm. I was military, college, blah, blah. I know what I can put in those motherfuckers. Well, okay, I can last a week eating shit off the motherfuckers of that shit that I had under my goddamn beds, in my fridge, and in my little cupboards. I can last long, actually longer than that. I mean, if this isn't so concerned, even though I'm angry 24 fucking all the time, goddammit. And I have to contain it. But I need you to be angry, but not a fool's anger. Because that's all I fucking hear and see. Fool's anger. Motherfuckers saying shit like they got more marching orders and don't know the first motherfucker that's supposed to be directing them. They directing themselves as if they somebody, and they ain't no fucking body. I see a whole lot of that shit. I see a whole lot of motherfuckers posting as if they get to take up the mantle. Everybody grab your rucksack, grab your candle, grab your motherfucking long rifles, and let's go. Them motherfuckers will walk you right off a fucking cliff. Oh, I want to say I appreciate those who signed on AAA, Orthodox American Arms. Respect for those who came out last night to the live. Respect. We're going to be doing a lot more. Like I said, I got to put this video, putting together this rifle. There's certain parts because YouTube's got a little thing about this. I don't know why. I guess I need to have a BBL, big ass, and no disrespect to Yoki, but there's a whole bunch of them. Big ass and walking around with it showing and shooting all kind of crazy guns and shooting all kind of crazy guns to, and keep monetization. Makes no sense. I guess if you talk politics, these motherfuckers don't know that these platforms can't stop the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10 amendments or nothing. All right. So anyway, I appreciate y'all coming over, man. Like I said, I gotta finish my watermelon, take a deep breath, go cut up this other watermelon, throw it up in the freezer and shit. And I appreciate y'all. Don't get it fucking twisted, man. I love y'all, man. I can't make you walk in my footsteps. I'm just trying to help y'all get some balance. Y'all really don't know the position y'all in, and it's not good, man. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. Appreciate y'all. Hit y'all up about 2. Damn, that wind just hit hard. About 2-3 hours. All right.